Here I am doing a Kanye West tier list, mostly because I want to escape from what I was doing. I don't feel like doing whatever I was doing. I keep procrastinating. I think you can relate to that. So instead of you doing whatever you need to do, why don't you watch my Kanye West tier list? Here you go. I want to make a scripted video about some of these albums, but mostly because I can't do it because mostly because Kanye West's label is very mean when it comes to including their music in videos. So if I do that, it will get taken down immediately if I wanted to include the music. So instead of including the music, you'll hear nothing. Silence. Put it on. Put something on yourself. It's gonna be Kanye West tier list podcast. We'll see. Um, and this is gonna be all off of memory because I don't feel like looking anything up. This is gonna be plainly off of my memory. Get mad at my opinions. I'm a big boy. I don't give a shit. But I say that Kanye West is my favorite artist. Everything about thing, blah blah blah. I admire him. Want to fuck him. What do you say? No, nothing else. So Kanye West. You have to go in order with Kanye West, right? You can't just go in a random order. You gotta say, the classic trilogy goes first. You got it. I think honestly, maybe I should grade it like backwards, if anything. I think that's a good idea. If I grade it back to fourth, if I go to like, this way, then you'll know exactly what I think about like his older album. I think the older album, but the thing is, the older albums are like the less divisive one. I don't know. It just depends on your opinion. We'll see. For now, I'm gonna go backwards, or I could do it randomly. Um, I'll go backwards. I'll start with Donda. Donda. Um, so when I thought of Donda, I haven't had much listening time with it because it only came out maybe a week or two ago, a couple weeks ago. At this point, but for now, I think that I will say that it is a return to a more ambitious, more more developed Kanye album. The other the other albums he had before this were, shorter. They weren't less, they weren't any lesser. They just were shorter and had less ideas on them. That's just because it's just the runtime shorter. This Kanye West album is like Life of Pablo length. It's ambitious. It's big. It's has not really necessarily a message, but a generalized theme. So I guess they all have a kind of a theme, but this one is return to form when it comes to like album length, I guess. Um, the features, there are a lot of tons of features on there. I will say that the length, always thought I'm gonna get heat for this one. I think the album's bloated. Some people think it's not. Some people think it is. I think it is. I think it's very bloated. I think like at least 3 tracks could be cut off of it. At the very least, the remix tracks could they cut off of it and just add the verses into the single song? Just cut off the rest of the track. I don't want to listen to Jail again. I think some of the tracks went on too long. And I think that some of the features were didn't pull their weight as well as I thought they would. And then Kanye's bars weren't as like memorable, comedic sometimes, but because Kanye has that certain charm with some of his bars. But I think that there is passion in this album. Some of the features really do like put on a dazzling performance. I like Playboi Carti. I'm a very big fan of him. I heard West Side Gun on the album. I was cheering because West Side Gun always puts in a good verse, and he did this time. The Weeknd on Hurricane. I'll always call Hurricane 80 Degrees. 80 degrees. Yeah, I always love that song. Hurricane, every form of Hurricane is pretty cool, except the one where Kanye has like the weird alien voice. I hate that version. Everyone else is perfect. The one with the Lauryn Hill sample, oh my god. Lauryn Hill sample Kanye is one of his best songs. Absolutely. So I think that's the thing. There are some high highs in this record, but there are some middling lows. I think all the beats do have like a general like vibe to them, like a general consistency to them. I just think that the album just wasn't as colorful, like a lot of these, like obviously the album cover is black. That's not what I mean. Like the album has, fewer tracks that like stand out, I guess. Especially near the end. That's my issue. I think I might get used to it or I might adjust to them, but I think the album is front loaded in my opinion, and Uh, mostly just like I always love when Kanye uses samples, but he doesn't have to. But I always love it when he does. So there was less sampling on this record, and the samples were kind of weird this time. You know, the Gallo Glub Leg Glub Glub, the Grande version. That was strange. That was a strange decision. But you know what? It's experimental. I fuck with it. Other than that, I think that mostly Donda is. I don't think I think the track "The Life of the Party" would have fit extremely well onto here. That's gonna bring it down a letter by itself. The fact that it's not on there, and I know it's not fair to say, "Oh, the album doesn't have that track." What do you mean doesn't have that track? Well, sorry, not like the album doesn't have that track. How are you gonna grade it lower because it doesn't have the track? Because because it's not like it made me realize how the theme didn't have like it was mostly a gospel album, and it should have been more about his pain with losing his mother. I think he's been building up to that for his whole career. So you know, I feel like he would have had a lot to say about it. You know, I feel like it's not a Kanye centric album, and it's like kind of weird in that case because it's like a lot of these are like we want to know what's going on in Kanye's life. It's kind of strange to say it like that, but it's kind of, a lot of it is. It's like you know, Kanye's been always in the news for something, so it's like, okay, well, what kind of bars do you have to say about this one? You know, Life of Pablo is full of like those like topical, current events in Kanye land bars. You know, um, so we have a lot of less of those. I mean, they don't. That's like more of a modern Kanye thing, but I think that's one of his charms in the recent years. That's one of my favorite parts of it, at least. I think that you know his like topical references to himself is like one of his things for me. Um, it's just like I think the track like Jesus Lord that is a really good like in the right direction where he talks you know distinctly about you know how he feels about his mother's decisions and you know his place in life and how people you know certain circumstances people like you know track like that is in the good direction. I just think that Andre 3000's verse on the Life of the Party would have fit perfectly into the to the vibe of the album 100% because you know it's like the heart-wrenching topic. It's not like a light topic. Like losing your mother is a very serious and you know rough thing. You have to every person has to go through at some point, and you know, um, most people do. And you know, I wish that more time was taken into that. You know, like pain of losing someone. I think a few tracks did that, but more of them could have. And that's more of like a lost potential thing. Um, I think it should have had a really like big ending track. What was that track called? No Child Left Behind. I think that track wasn't like grand enough of a statement to end on. I think because I really have like this big like when you have an album, I have this like need because it's Kanye, right? I have this need to have a grand ending at least because a lot of these albums, like you know, like Last Call, Gone or Late, what's it called? Big Brother, I think. You know, Pinocchio Story, I think was the ending on this one. This one's Lost in the World, I'm down on my mind, and leading into who survived in America. I forgot. I think The Joy was this one. It was a pretty good ending track. But it wasn't like, it's not really a concept album. Like all these Bound 2, Saint Pablo, God. Violent Crimes, I think. Cuddy Montage, and I didn't even remember this one. I think it's I completely forgot. But yeah, all those like they had like really grand, like um not centerpiece, like bookend tracks that really make me feel satisfied listening to the album front to back. I think, and apart from Jesus is King, which how's that track? Jesus is Lord. It's like okay, it's like it just doesn't feel that one's yeah. But I think that Donda could have had like a really big like I don't know something orchestral big to end it off. Like it's just like a I don't know because like the topic reminds me of how like Flying Lotus and Cosmogramma he did this whole like gigantic like what was it Galaxy and Tanaki. It was like this beautiful basically like his ode to his mother. It's like what's it called Requiem to his mother. It's a beautiful thing. I feel like Kanye could have had has the resources to make something to that level of something that's like a grand statement, like a goodbye, But that's not him. I mean that's not what he did this time. But I mean I think it's more of this like the general whole album was about that. I don't know. I just feel like Kanye was never the one for like the one concept. So yeah, but I think the bars could have been better, the flows could have been better, but altogether, I think the album really had that Kanye touch. Like again, like Kanye never stopped having that Kanye touch, but he had like that ambitious, artsy, I'll use whatever art come my way kind of touch to it. Um, and I think it'll survive scrutiny. Obviously not as well as the other classic albums that are like, thing, but I think people saying it's a masterpiece. I don't agree necessarily, but I see where they're coming from because it has a lot of, different choices put into it, a lot of unique sounds, a lot of stuff, like a lot of thought put into it. And even if it wasn't like completely finished at the time, and even if it's missing the best track one of the best tracks that Kanye's ever made, I think that it's a step in the right, always a step in the right direction. Well, not a step in the right direction because he's had a lot of right directions, but I think it's on the vibe of what I like better about Kanye. I think in terms of Kanye, I think it's C tier for now. If he adds Life to the Party, it'll be B tier instantly. Like literally, that track alone will add it adds so much to the album's concept. That's like it's such a good verse. That's my thing about it. So I think Donda could actually. I wish it kind of gets the Life of Pablo treatment where it gets improved over time. We'll see. This is the launch version. If you're watching this in the future, which you're probably not, but yeah, that's what I think about Donda. I kind of want to just go random, because Cruel Summer, like again, everyone says the same thing about Cruel Summer. Has a few good tracks. Has a couple legendary tracks. A lot of good, a few good verses. A lot of what's it called? Good verses from Pusha T. I think that's who was on the album a lot, Pusha T. But I mean, I haven't had too much experience with Cruel Summer anyway. It's more of like a posse cut thing. It's barely a Kanye West album. Like it's more of just like a good music album, but just not enough. It's just not consistent enough to be anywhere near all these other tracks. I think the tracks are good enough just to have in a playlist. Like don't like stuff like that. There's a couple of tracks that are like maybe a couple underrated tracks. I remember I skimmed through it again recently. I was like, oh yeah, some good. Like every time you do a Kanye West tier list, you gotta like say, yeah, Cruel Summer is ain't it, chief? Like, it's kind of implied at this point. I don't really have much to say. Let me go with Jesus is King. I don't have much to say about this one either. I think Jesus is King, specifically, just like it hurts more because it came after the wait for Yandi, and I had to fool myself into thinking it was like better than it was. Like it's not that I'm even like against gospel necessarily, because I obviously graded Donda. All right, I had a lot to say about that. I think it's mostly just because it's shallow, very shallow, not depthful, ingenuine. That's what really felt for me. Like it felt ingenuine. All the other Kanye albums feel genuine. He feels his ups, his downs, his ego, his sometimes he has shyness. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes he wants to hide things from the audience. But this one just felt like he was putting on autopilot, and especially hurt because these are some tracks off of Yandi, that was going to be Yandi, and the tracks that leaked were like, oh my god, all these tracks are much better than what came on the album, and especially because the live version of Jesus is King is better than the album, which especially Water, the live version of Water is one of my favorite Kanye tracks. The studio version of Water is actually horrible. Like I don't know how they messed it up so bad. It's just because I don't know, like 5-minute version, they're just like all the gospel singing. They'll get through it, all your love. Like, oh my god, beautiful. And then they I don't know, they cut it down. I think the Anthony Clemens part was still alright, but yeah, they cut it. It just feels off. I think there are a couple of good tracks on here. On God was pretty good. I think it was a Pierre one. Follow God was a classic Kanye sample. Close on Sunday is not that great of a track. Actually, I think the guitar is pretty cool, but Kanye lyrically, oh god. Like Close on Sunday or My Chick-fil-A is memorable. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. I'm still trying to figure that out. Otherwise, I think all these other tracks you just forget. Oh my god! Also the track with Kenny G at the end. I'm like, I mean, bro, I'm not like a jazz snob or anything. I'm like, Kenny G, are you kidding me? It had clips on it, and you brought him for. Anyway, yeah, it just felt like I don't know. I've never like this is how autopilot. If this is how autopilot Kanye sounds, I mean, it's not the worst you could have, but it's also like so much. Yeah, I'm so glad that Donda came out because if he ended his career with this, I was gonna. Oh my god, like what a flat way to end your career. So it has its ups and downs. I think it's definitely D tier, probably worse than Cruel Summer. Um, because I mean, like it's just because they ruin good songs. That's my thing. Um, that's like it's just like hurts. Let me go out of order now. Graduation. I have some complex thoughts on graduation. Graduation. Don't say that word. I I I think graduation. I don't vibe with it as much as other people do. I don't fuck with it as much as other people do. And I do like Graduation. Don't get me wrong. Graduation is definitely a good album. I just don't like. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think that Graduation's as good as people's. And I've listened to it front to back a couple times, and I'm like, but I will say that it has some of Kanye's best tracks easily. But it's not as good because it doesn't fit as an album. I have this weird like obsession with the album front to back. And I'll show that later with my ratings for these other albums. But Graduation definitely feels like it's just like a regular album, like no front to back. It just feels like a collection of songs, and it's like that's fine. I just won't value it as high because I value the album experience. I value the front to back, how well it feels like a story or whatever. How it feels like a kind of like that. Like it doesn't always have to, but I feel like having like but Good Morning is a good way to start an album. I give you that. Like Good Morning. Ooh, ooh, Good Morning. Oh god, I can't do that shit. It's a good way to start an album. Definitely but I can't get over the one that he has and then he has the same like with the same tone. It's not you can tell it's like like a vocal chop. It's not like him saying again. If you listen to the song, you know what I mean. It just bothers me every time. But yeah, there's some great tracks. I think it's like a consistent level of tracks. And I'm not gonna be the guy who says, "Oh, I hate Barry Bonds and Drunken Hot Girl." Like I love the beat for Drunken Hot Girls. Barry Bonds is a boring track though. Like I can get through it. It's not a bad track. It's just boring. Um, I think Lil Wayne has an alright verse on there, but Lil Wayne was unbeatable then, so every verse like it's held. You gotta scrutinize every verse from that era. You know what I mean? Um, I think it's just like I think there's like a consistency to all the tracks. That's my thing. Certain consistency to it. Um, if you include Good Night, I think it's a little better. Uh, I think the way it ends with Big Brother is an alright way to end. It doesn't have like a concept or anything. It just has like this kind of like triumphant ending, and that's fine for this album, I guess. I guess Graduation doesn't really need a concept because it's really just about Kanye celebrating his celebrity at this point. It's like the only album where he just unabashedly celebrates his celebrity with no like thing because the only ones My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is just like him being scrutinized by the world basically, and all the other albums are just like him dealing with the pressures of celebrity. But Graduation, I think Late Registration is kind of him transferring into that point. So Graduation is kind of like a victory lap in like the trilogy, which is fine. Um, but yeah, I think looking at the track list, Stronger doesn't. I like I want you want to listen to the Daft Punk song. To be honest, like I like the Daft Punk song better. So, uh, but obviously Kanye's version's great. Good Life. I used to not like that track as much. I think I grew to it. T-Pain's always good. I like T-Pain. That man can sing. Flashing Lights, easily one of Kanye's best songs. Yeah, easily one of Kanye's best songs. Everything I Am's a very, I don't know how to. It's like a very. How do I describe it? It feels like a soulful hip hop rap, like ones that use prominent like soul samples, like Oh yeah, I wonder. Well, yeah, I wonder. Champion, everything I am, the glory, all those ones that use like the samples like that. I think I think those fit well, like all those tracks. I think I really I think I think the best track on you is probably Flashing Lights. And it's kind of overdone, but yeah, it's one of his best tracks easily. One of the greatest probably one of the greatest pieces of pop music ever created, if I'm being honest. Flashing lights, doom, 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 leaves and suits and cars. You can't believe it. Oh, my apartment. Every time, every time. Uh, and I can only imagine that being in like a stadium or whatever. So yeah. Uh, no, I think there's no like bad tracks. Maybe like one skip. Barry Bonds kind of bores me. I think I like Drunken Hot Girls more than like 3 other tracks here. So yeah, it just shows my opinion. I'm objectively wrong. um, so yeah, I think specifically all the guest verses on here do their job. I don't think any of them blow me away, and it's mostly a Kanye centric album. I think that's mostly the thing. So I don't know. I don't feel like I think it's like a solid B tier. If Kanye can make, I think this is a average Kanye album in terms of like artistry. He does his job, a bunch of tracks. It's a kind of celebration of Kanye's celebrity. It's like it is what it is. Pretty like cut and dry. It has quotables. It has great songs, but it doesn't have a deeper kind of like. It doesn't have bars that make you say, "Oh shit, that's true," or like, "Oh shit, he's going off." Like he's just a lot of mostly songs that were made to play for live shows. I feel, and other tracks that are like because there's nothing like I don't know. This seems like a uh I think if Kanye could make an average rap album, right? An average rap album for this era, that's probably what it is. It has a Kanye style, the Kanye artistry, Kanye charm, but it's still the average rap album structure in terms of tracks, layout, albums, some with the features, stuff like that. Also, he has Most Def on here twice, which I think he has him on tour. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, Most Def on here twice. I appreciate that. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I probably have a lot more to say about graduation. I just don't know how to say it. I uh, I just don't know how to say it, to be honest. Um, next. I think Watch the Throne. I have not much to say about Watch the Throne, as much to say as I do about other albums. Um, I think the song, track 4, one of the better songs. The opening, great opening. Oh, amazing opening. No Trace Wild's an amazing opening. With Frank Ocean. Yep. One of just a legendary way to open an album. Otis. Oh my god. Oh my god, that song's good. Don't no no no. Don't no no. Oh yep. Yep. Yeah. So again, front loaded. I don't know. This album I think it has bookend syndrome. Some albums I think have bookend syndrome, where their first set of tracks and their last set of tracks are good, and then all in the middle is like a bunch of filler. I think because I love The Joy, I love Prime Time, I love Midnight Miracles. All right, That's My Bitch is a pretty good one. Um, I track 4. I like track 4. Um, oh, this is amazing. Church in the Wild. I think Murder to Excellence was already pretty good. Yeah. So, other than that, I think like all the other tracks were just like there's a section in Jay-Z's career where like I think it was like with Watch the Throne and Magna Carta Holy Grail, where he put out just a bunch of like boring tracks. I think Jay-Z. There's a point where Jay-Z was like really on autopilot. He was not at the top of his game. Like there's definitely like Jay-Z eras where he will go off for every single like guest verse and every single bar he can add. Like Jay-Z can rap, but there's a lot of times where Jay-Z doesn't feel like rapping. Like even now, like Jay-Z has like he barely has time. He always records his like verses on like a Nokia smartphone, Nokia 1999 phone. But he still puts out like bars and bars that mean something and that have witty wordplay. Like he's a trained rapper. But in this one, he just sounded like he was just like on autopilot. He had to turn in an album just because they wanted a Kanye Jay-Z album. So I think that, but I think that there's a lot of, again, Jay-Z had a lot of good verses on here though. I think they both, but I think none of them had, I don't think there's any like, I think the, yeah, I think that none of them had super amazing, super duper amazing verses here. But there are like memorable lines here and there, memorable verses, but none of them had like super jaw dropping anything. I think the thing I remember most is Frank Ocean on the chorus with No Church in the Wild. But this is all based on my memory anyway. I think I remember the beats better than I remember like some of the sample beats. Some of them just like, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of hard to place it, but I think I'm not really a Watch the Throne fan. I really Watch the Throne fan. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of any like, like. Actually, I need to grade below this because I can't grade Watch the Throne and Cruel Summer in the same place, man. That's just not right. Hell no. Put that in like the Shadow Realm, bitch. Shadow fucking Realm. That's fucking F tier. Jesus is King, F tier. Cruel Summer, yeah. Yeah, Jesus is King is like absolutely not good. Well, I think not good is a little harsh. I think it's just like I didn't enjoy it at all. Like as an album, as an experience, it's just. Next is probably Kids See Ghost. Kids See Ghost, oh, amazing album. Treats to the ears. What's so great about Kids See Ghost is that it was during Kanye's part where he was doing 5 albums, 5 albums for one summer, each 20-something minutes, which is actually kind of a throwback to his 3 beats every day, 5 beats every day for 3 summers or something. I don't know, but he put in that work that summer. And Kids See Ghost is, what's it called? A fruit of his labor and their labor. Kid Cudi and Kanye West. I think they're Kid Cudi and Kanye West are a good match because just the album's absolutely like the cover. It feels so colorful, so full of life, so vibrant. Them, going through their issues is very a Kid Cudi was going through some things. He's always going through something, because he's, I think that he's a very, we're all sensitive people. I think Kid Cudi's a sensitive human. He has, very strong emotions, and a lot of people can relate to the way he expresses himself. And I think that I really like what he did here. I can't say Kid Cudi's hit or miss for me. I think that I've listened. I think most songs I liked from him, I've listened to him from, I liked, but I'm not really like the guy who's like Kid Cudi saved my life yet. Maybe later, but some people really value Kid Cudi, and I do respect them for that opinion. Kid Cudi just relates to a lot of people, and I do enjoy some of it's called Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying. A little long, but criminally underrated, I will say. Man on the Moon's classic. Man on the Moon 2 is great. I'm a speeding bullet to heaven defendant. I will go to bat for that album. I won't die for it, but I'll go to bat for it. So, this is where you see my opinion is from. Like, Kid Cudi is definitely an artist I do respect the artistic, like, experimentation and value of, despite everything. So, and also, again, Speeding Bullet wasn't that bad, okay? Like, never mind that. I think that Kids See Ghost is very tightly paced. That's my favorite thing about it. 7 tracks, all basically just perfect. Specifically, the track Fourth Dimension is one of the best songs of all time. Jesus Christ. No. Yeah, the track run from what? Fourth Dimension. No. Fire, Fourth Dimension. Actually, wait. Yeah, the entire thing could be considered a track run, if I'm being honest. It's just so, like, there's no dull moment from I could feel love, just to feel love. And then Fire. I think it's one of the I guess the quote unquote weaker tracks, but it's still an amazing track. I think it's a good way to like second tracks always have a good way of introducing someone to the world, quote unquote, of the album. And I think that kind of does. It's kind of like I don't know, it sounds like Django for some reminds me of something. It sounds like a cowboy movie. um, and the way that goes into uh Fourth Dimension. And that sample on Fourth Dimension, the first time I heard that, I went absolutely crazy. Out the chimney he will come with his great big smile. And they go, oh, what is Santa bringing? And then it goes back, on you know, and then the beat starts to go, God, oh my God, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Oh, and you're not, you know, that's the, like, one of the Kanye's like best samples, like the way, oh my God, easily one of Kanye's best samples. Like Kanye's did a lot of sampling in his career, but that is like one of the best. Oh my God, easily. I like damn. And then all the bar that reminds me, like all the bars in this album are like a lot of them are completely memorable. I could probably sing the I ain't taking Bella again, talking Lacoste. Then he say, like a missing message, P and Rick Ross. Yeah, oh my God. Yes. Like a lot of the bars are just completely Kanye at his peak. Memorable, charming, referential, like irreverent. Everything I love about Kanye's bars and the way he flows, so he has like completely like he doesn't always try to speed through the bars. Like I'm gonna summon him, like he does his punchlines in a funny Kanye way. That's what I always loved about Kanye, and it shows itself in this album, 100%. Every again like fourth, like oh my God, after Fourth Dimension goes, what's it called? Ghost Town Part 2, where it goes, I don't feel pain anymore. I'm still free. I go, oh my God, it's just free. Oh my God. The way it echoes free. That's like peak mental health. It's like, that is literally therapy session right there. Like in itself. You feel so, this album is like 100% like a therapy session. You're working through your shit, and then Cuddy montage like stay strong. Whoa, like it's all just like a really like it's not even a metaphor. It's basically just like the theme of the album. It's just working through issues and moving on. And it's such a relatable theme, and everyone can deal with that. And I really associate with that theme. I really think the music matches the theme. You know, it really feels like triumphant, but you know, not like it's not ignoring your problems and saying, "Oh, I'm happy," despite you dancing to the beat of a depression drum. Like I mean, it's you going through and saying, "Ah, fuck that drum." You know, despite everything, I'm not gonna dance to that beat. Um, I'm gonna, you know, it's like ignore. I'm gonna work through it. I'm gonna say that why do I have this feeling to dance? I don't know why. I'm going off topic, but yeah, it's a very I think the main things about it, and then the features. Pusha T, who sang on Ghost Town Part 2? I don't remember. We sang a Ty Dolla $ign. I think Most Def, and technically Kurt Cobain because of the sample. I think they said that as a feature, but it's not really. No, because I think you just have to say Louis Prima would be a feature too. So yeah, all those features, they did their job. They all did great. And I think Pusha T's feature to introduce the album was great. I mean, that's a great way to introduce the album. Every time, I'm not gonna say the feature, I'm not gonna say any lyrics of that one, but yeah, it's great. It just goes front to back. It feels like an album. It feels like you're going through and working your stuff. It feels, despite it being a tight album, it feels like it's like, it doesn't feel like it's like, it feels longer, but it also feels like it's tight. Like it, you know what I mean? It feels like it's depthful, and it has, you know, developed song ideas, but it also feels like it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a precise, you know, album. This feels like, you know, you want to make it a musical experience, a musical joyride that takes you, you know, deep from the darkness of mental issues and stuff. I don't know. I said and stuff like I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think that Kids See Ghosts is one of Kanye's peak musical contributions. Honestly, I love this album to death. Um, I will say I might have re-listened to it a little much, but I can safely say it's one of my S tiers. Yeah, definitely one of my S tiers because I talked about it so excitedly. I love that album immensely. Um, yeah. Let me think. Hmm. I could talk about Yay next, or I could talk about. I'll talk about Yay because that's in the same theme. I think Yay. Yay was an album I associate with just like the rollout. I don't think I like it as much as people are starting to like it now. I'm pretty middled on it, honestly. Because I think that despite it only being 20 minutes, I think there are tracks I'd like to skip. I'm not a big fan of like the middle, what, 3 tracks or whatever. But I think that I thought about Killing You as a pretty good intro track because I don't know, it's a very weird way to introduce a new album. But when I first heard it the first time, it was definitely an experience that I'll never forget. And when that beat starts, it is like, uh, it is fourth dimensional. I give you that. Even though it's not the best beats, you have to like listen to the entire build up, and then it feels like it's crazy. So yeah, and these are I don't know. I associate it more with the excitement of looking at that album when it came out, which has been a while at this point, than more than the album like theme and the lyric itself. I think that it's the same kind of thing where Kanye is kind of working through his problems. Um, but you know, it just related less to me. I don't like the musicality as much. But I will say that I thought about Killing You, No Mistakes, Ghost Town, and Violent Crimes. I think that's probably my, probably. I think it could be work at an EP, an EP. Uh, but some people like the entire album. I'm like, okay, fine. I just think that some of the tracks could have been. But I think that it bounces out for me saying like the last 3 tracks, No Mistakes, Ghost Town, and Violent Crimes are some of Kanye's best songs. Ghost Town is like probably one of the best songs he's ever made. Yeah, like Violent Crimes, like I know Ghost Rider kind of did it, but I still think that it kind of fits Kanye's whole like mo, and it brings back lines from We Major off of Late Registration. So I think that I think that despite everything, I think I still like fuck with it as a track. Especially and it's like a really like beautiful track when it comes to like his view of family and I don't know, growing up his child, all this stuff. And the OVO Shake vocals on the last 2 tracks are absolutely beautiful. Like it's like so strange when a feature like does something that they do like completely like out of no like emotion. Like you just find this feature. That's the thing about Kanye. He always goes and finds these like people who are like very talented. You can see the potential inside, makes them do their thing, and then they can never replicate that thing on their own work. I have to go and see if OVO Shake can like albums are great, but I feel like you just can't replicate something like that, like those vocals. Um, hmm. I think that hmm, I probably rated probably I think Ghost Town is so good that it deserves a B tier on like literally on its own. Oh my god. Ghost Town is what I'm still trying to make you love me. Like fucking man. We're it's just beautiful. It's just it's something else, man. It's something else. I like that's one of the tracks that made me like makes me think of man, I'm going to miss Kanye when he is gone. Like no one else can make something like that come together. Like um just a different kind of experience, you know what I mean? Um Hmm. I think I don't know. I'm not sure I have much to say. Much more about to say about Ye. Because it's more of the. I think it's more of the Kanye you know, autobiographical Kanye that we like generally, or like we that presents like that's like the basis of modern Kanye. Like what I like about modern Kanye. Like the old Kanye versus the new Kanye. Um, I think that I think that it works here. But I'm not sure. I just don't like the music, the beats as much, the instrumentals. But I think that it fits well. I'm not sure it's the same level as Graduation because Graduation just has more tracks I enjoy. But I think that Ye has some of his highest highs in his career, so kind of bounces out. I don't know. Next probably Yeezus. Yeezus. Hmm. Yeezus is interesting. Yeezus has a place. I think I think it's kind of weird everyone compares on the Death Grips. I guess this kind of makes sense. It's like pop music with an experimental edge, kinda. It's kind of like, or not experimental edge, like it's experimental music with a pop edge. There we go. Um, I will say that yeah, that makes sense. Um, I don't know. I like the way that it sounds generally. Uh, I can't say any tracks are like they're not unique. All the tracks are fit in their place. It's a very tight album. They all have their own place. On site, greatest one of the greatest intro tracks. Oh my god. Yeah. I can only imagine being there in 2013. I didn't listen to this album in 2013. I can only imagine being there in 2013, waiting for a new Kanye album and hearing that shit. Like as soon as you started. I don't remember how I listened to it the first time, so I just remember that made an impact on me. I was like, wow, that sounds crazy. I like it. I like it. And I think it's not bookend syndrome, but I do like the first and last tracks the best. I love Bound to bow bow, bound to fall. Like that's probably one of his best tracks too. Bound to New Slaves, definitely one of the best tracks of all time. Blood on the Leaves was great. Uh, I think each and every track has their own interesting like loop they kind of do, their own interesting like thing you can chant. I think that's one of the things. It's like every song here, despite it being experimental, is has a pop thing, like has something to grasp onto, Except on site. On site's probably like the most like yeah, except for the choir sample in the middle. Like there's absolutely I don't think there's like anything that repeats on there. So it's basically just like, you know, kind of like structureless in that case. It's not really structureless, but it's basically just verse, refrain, verse. Um, because every other track has, I'm trying to We the New Slaves. Dum 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 dum. Like I think they all have something that's like you can grasp onto and like hum, which is strange because it's supposed to be like his most abrasive thing album, but it's not gonna like Kanye's not gonna rap on harsh noise, I guess On Site's the closest thing he would do to that, but yeah, that's like a distorted synth line, I guess. Blood on the Leaves is a great use of a sample. Uh, I think the Travis Scott. I keep forgetting the Travis Scott feature. Uh, I don't know. Travis Scott features are very hit or miss for me. I don't know. Feel like Travis Scott like some like yeah, he has that thing where he like turns every track into a Travis Scott song instead of like adding on to their kind of track, which I don't know. I think it's kind of unique. Not many other artists do it like that, but yeah, at this point, I don't think Travis Scott even had his like style yet. He's like Owl Pharaoh era, so I don't know. He's forgetting about like um Chief Keef, obviously. Chief Keef and Justin Vernon is a crazy like who thinks of that? That's oh my god, it's perfect. Oh my god, that's what I love about. That's like one of the love about Kanye. Like one of the things that he do is like he's like a director that gets like two completely different background actors together. We haven't collab Peppa Pig and fucking Duke Nukem. uh, Yeah, I think there's like a consistency to it that I like. 40 minutes, no filler. All the tracks are pretty good to great. I think that's like A tier Kanye. On a I don't know. I think Guilt Trip was a little. Was that the one with the synth line? No, Guilt Trip was the one with the nice synths. I don't know. No matter what I say, someone might give me heat. So I don't really care about fucking opinions anymore. Who gives a shit? So why would I give a shit about your opinion? I'm the one talking. It's my show. I'm speaking right now. I think it just. I think I've listened to Black Skinhead too many times. Um, there's some highs here. I think it's more like graduation syndrome, where it's a consistency. Um, and it does have a style, a very unique style. I give it that. I'm not sure I'd put out A tier because I don't know. I value very tight crafted albums. That's like one of my grading scales. You know, like if an album has all good tracks and no skips, it's like instant, like way higher than a track that's like, oh, that track's alright. Um, well, I don't think Jesus has any skips. I'm just saying that. I don't know. I just don't know how to feel. Jesus is just like I listen to it way less than a lot of these other albums too. So it's like I don't know. It just didn't draw me in. I don't know. 808s, 808s. Going to start on 808s and Heartbreak now. 808s and Heartbreak is again one of the most influential albums probably of all time, at least of the 20th century. 21st century. Sorry. Um. Mm, I think that 808s. I don't know how to describe it. It has this like certain style to it that I do love. And don't think there's any bad tracks on here, but I don't know. I just don't come back to it as often for some reason. I feel like it's I think that it's a very like great album, especially a great pop album somehow, despite everything. You know, you can remember Love Lockdown. It's a love lockdown. Like all of these us and see you in my nightmares isn't as bad as people say. But it's definitely not. It's definitely a track I might, consider skipping. I don't know why Kanye and Lil Wayne's tracks always end up like strange like that. Like Smuckers is one of the best tracks that all of them have been on. Tyler, Lil Wayne, and Kanye. So I don't know how like those ones always get a bad rap. Um, the other ones on his albums, but I think Paranoid is one of the best tracks on here easily. Say You Will is man, this man knows how to do intros. My God. Pinocchio Story depends on the day with me. Probably not as a song, but as a concept. I think the Pinocchio Story is a great way to end the album, more as a, you know, as in the album concept or the album's themes rather than the actual quality of the song. I think, yeah, in the night, here I'm gone. I think 808s and Heartbreak is probably A tier. No bad tracks. A few underwhelming ones, but some of the tracks are way too good for me to like things. And it's an album I could play front to back easily. Especially and Say You Will and Paranoid are some of my favorite Kanye songs in general. Heartless is always works out. Might have heard it too much at this point. Some Kanye songs you just hear too much, but I might need to give it a listen again. But I think A tier is probably where I put it. I don't know. And I think that there's certain like distinct 808s vibe you get, like a uniqueness in like sound. And I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate that. It makes it more interesting to listen back to. But when I listen to 808s, it's just not 808s. When I listen to Jesus, it's like, wow, that's cool. But it's not distorted enough. I like in terms of Jesus, I like On Sight the best, and bound to the best, which is weird. But he like the most distorted track and the least distorted track. So I'm like, I get not as much out of it as other people get. But yeah, I don't know. It depends on the day with a lot of these tracks. These last four are very beloved, somewhat divisive, somewhat controversial if you grade them wrong. But I have my own opinions. And none of them grade My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy very lowly. So yeah, I'll say it right now, none of these are gonna be lower than a B. But I scared you, right? Jump scare. Like, which was gonna be a B? You graded one of these albums at a B? Oh God, Maple, I thought I knew you. Oh, but I'll go with The Life of Pablo first. I'm kind of weird on Life of Pablo because I actually listened to this version called The Life of Paul, which is like this like version with like different mixes and different with sample extensions and some added tracks like All Day and Only One. That's when I've been listening to the most recently. So, but if I grade The Life of Pablo based on like the I don't think I even listened to like the streaming version recently. I think I listened to like the old version. But if I think it's like a mix of those. But if I grade it on basically a mix of what I've actually been the version that I've actually been listening to, the old version, without Saint Pablo, and the Life of Paul version, and then the one time I listened to the streaming version, the updated streaming version. We'll probably grade Life of Pablo at a rough one. Probably an S. Probably an S tier. I'm the type of guy to grade Life of Pablo an S tier. Life of Pablo is probably Kanye's magnum opus, if I'm being honest. Like, if I don't know how people could say they don't like quote unquote new Kanye when The Life of Pablo is probably possibly one of the greatest albums of all time. Um, at the very least, it is like in terms of expression, like musical expression, it has a really like I don't know musical in terms of musical expression. It is super. Like, Kanye is Kanye, the absolute most Kanye he's ever been, and maybe the most Kanye he ever will be on this album. He has a track called I Love Kanye. That is the most Kanye thing that any person can do, even Kanye. You know what I mean? Absolute crazy, man. I just love that, love that track. The idea of it. I wish it had the sample. I wish it had a sample on it, like all these other remixes. Um, but I will say Kanye putting out one of his only like acapella tracks is, you know, it did a lot for the producers in the world. I'll just say that. It did a lot for the producers. Um I think that just like I had to get used to a lot of these tracks. I had to get used to a lot of these tracks. Ending with Fade was horrible at first. Like, Fade's a pretty alright track to a good track depending on the day, but ending an album on it is not, that's like a Drake kind of thing to do. It's like ending an album on Hotline Bling. That's not a Kanye thing. It just doesn't feel right. It feels wrong. So I'm glad he added Saint Pablo. Saint Pablo is what makes this album a masterpiece. It goes from amazing album to masterpiece because Life of Pablo has like all these themes realming at once, like religion, fame, fortune, sexuality, um, fucking in the bathroom, Kanye, or what's it called? Narcissism, self-destructive attitudes, flying too close to the sun, uh, the ocean, waves, Silver Surfer, uh, 30 hours. Oh yeah, transportation, that's a big theme. Uh, the toxic lifestyle of those in LA and toxic lifestyle celebrity in general. Um, Kanye just being mad at Nike. um, Dance hall music. I think it was going for a main theme here. Like it's and you know, just all these tracks are what Kanye is going through, what Kanye is about. You have a probably the best musical picture of 2016 Kanye as possible. And thankfully it is a very interesting time in Kanye history. Like that line about a cousin, tell all my cousins I love them, even the one that stole even the one that stole a laptop, you dirty motherfucker. That is a peak Kanye line, and people quote it all the time. Even if I think 30 Hours being written by Drake is kind of it makes sense. It's like one of those things where you put it together, right? It's like it's like you just like the puzzle pieces all come apart. They all come back together. It's like, oh, that makes sense. And even knowing that, I still think that it's one of the an amazing track. Especially the sample. The sample, 30 hours. Oh man. Bro, the first time I heard that track, that made me. I think that was like one of the first. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when I fell in love with Kanye West, but 30 hours might have done it. At least the sample. Feedback. Famous. Father Stretch My Hands. I'm kind of mid on Ultralight Beam, if I'm being honest. Some people say that's one of his best tracks. I'm on it. Fuck My Life Up is kind of like, I don't know. It's a little too low key for me. I think it kind of like brings the album not down, but I don't like it as much. I wish they replaced FML with All Day, and I'd be say this album's like literally perfect, no skips, absolutely like no, it's not no skips, no album, no songs less than absolutely perfect. I love All Day. I wish I was on the album. Waves Don't Die. Freestyle 4. I think Highlights I think like FML better than Highlights. I wish Highlights was off the album. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of Highlights. The groove on that track is like I just don't like it. Feedback is criminally underrated. What goes oh my god. Yes. And that's just Kanye just like being Kanye. Y'all been sleeping on me, huh? Had a good snooze. Yeah. Oh my god, perfect track. And the part at the end where Frank's singing for Wolves, depending on, or has his own track depending on the version you listening to. Yeah, oh my god. And Wolves, where Vic Mensa does the thing where he's like the thing to reference to the reference to Icarus on Wolves, where you're burning your wings and he's singing like angelically. Dude, how would you say this is anything besides S tier? I cannot believe that. And I repeat, do not get me started on No More Parties in LA. That is a top 1 Kanye track. Genuinely one of the best tracks in musical history. There are some tracks that like transcend themselves, and it's like one of the once in a lifetime opportunity. Like No More Parties is one of those tracks I'm like, there is no other universe where this was made. And then alternate universe, like we have alternate universes where there's world peace and shit. We got No More Parties in LA at least. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's a trade-off. Like I'm joking, but yeah, No More Parties in LA is like so many quotables. Every single line in that song is a quotable. I could like recite that entire verse if I wanted to. Like every single line, Kendrick Lamar on the, it's a good song when Kendrick Lamar, after To Pimp a Butterfly, gets showed up. It's a god tier track when Kanye shows up, Kendrick Lamar at his peak rapping ability. I don't know about this album, but I think that T-Pab after post T-Pab, Kendrick Lamar was some of his best features, absolutely best. So, and then Madlib producing the beats, like he didn't have to add anything. All he did was that perfect loop and that one snare, and it's just like he raps the Los Angeles, take that party that body. Oh my god. Perfect, absolutely peak. I cannot stress enough this track. I think No More Parties, like the entire album could have been absolute trash and it'd be at least B tier because of No More Parties alone. I don't even know why I was considering putting this in A. Put like like chief, chief, immaculate, immaculate. This album has like and like I think Fade like I think Fade is a good version of like Highlights, where it has the groove. It's like dum, 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 dum. The hip shaking is perfect, absolutely great. And then Facts is like Freestyle 4 and Feedback, where it's just Kanye rapping and just being Kanye. You know what I mean? Just just rapping and rapping. And he all raps with such passion, such like thing. You could tell the writer's block was over. Like he was rapping like on this album, he was rapping like his life depended on it, or he's rapping like he has something to prove again. He's rapping like he was pissed. It was Kanye trying to make another classic, and he did. Like my God, like I don't know how many other albums feel like Kanye trying to make a classic, but this album sure did to me. I don't know, something just hit, man. And the lastly, Saint Pablo is the peak way to end an album. Like I could not stress enough that Saint Pablo is one of the best ways to end an album ever. Like it's such a downtrodden look at like his lifestyle, where it's like he's spending all this money, doesn't know how to get it back, having this lavish lifestyle. I mean, doesn't know how to stop it. Um, and it's kind of a melancholy track where it's like it's like basically I'm famous, but at what cost? It's like in the movie where they're like zooming out, like he had the bad ending and they're like zooming out. I think Saint Pablo is really just like him saying, you know, he's trying to become more of a family man, but the lifestyle of LA is too deep in him that he can't necessarily leave it forever. I think that's a way to look at it. The lavish materialistic lifestyle of LA is really just deep inside of him, like really thing. And it's like this realization at the end of the album, after all these tracks of just like going back and forth between ups and downs, and it's basically it's basically him bipolar, having ups and down, manic states and depressive states. You have all these different like just aspects of life. It's just so Kanye. There's no other way to say it. Like it's pretty much the if you have it's musical expression in the peak form. I don't know how to say it. Like it, I could talk about this album for hours. Like The Life of Pablo it's literally the album's title, The Life of Pablo. If Kanye is Pablo, then it's his life. Like it's basically as many aspects of him as he can fit in, and somehow the features help show him as much as they show the features themselves. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I guess I can explain it that way. It's fine. But yeah, Saint Pablo is just a peak way to end the album, where he's just like, he's like, really, I don't have the answers. I don't know. Like he's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying. It's like basically, I'm just saying, I'm trying here. I'm trying here. You know, like that's all you can really say. Like shit, man. I'm trying here, man. uh, I don't know. I have so much to say about The Life of Pablo. I could talk about it for like days on end. Every track is just like instantly like, and Real Friends, oh my God, Real Friends says a lot with a little. It says a lot with a little. um but yeah, I think I'm done with talking about The Life of Pablo for now. But absolutely one of my favorite works by Kanye West, one of my favorite pieces of music, one of my favorite pieces of media, in terms of just like how well it says the artist's shows the artist's inner feel. Because I mean, Kanye is a very public figure, right? So you know, you see it in the term, like in the third person and in the first person. It's like you see, okay, news outlets version of the story, and then it's like him rapping about his own fucking shit going on. So altogether, S tier, magnum opus tier, one of the best albums I have ever listened to tier. Um, it should be required listening for psychologists tier. That's a little much, but you know what I mean. Um, next. Which one should I grade? I think The College Dropout, because I got I'm gonna get crucified for this one. I like the college dropout. No, I can't. Yeah, it's just B tier. I was gonna put a C tier to piss everyone off. Like, oh no, it's too low. Put F tier. No. um. I think the college dropout is pretty good. Uh, I still like. I know that it's a very beloved album. I think that I feel like my love for that goes to the counterpart to it instead. I think the college dropout has, yeah, some of his like great song. A pretty good way to start off a career with "We Don't Care" and like the intro. That's a pretty good way to start off a career. It shows like his form of comedy. It's kind of an interesting thing to have someone else start off your career when it comes to albums. Comedian, which is kind of interesting. All Falls Down is probably one of Kanye's like best verses lyrically, like in terms of social commentary. Like each verse, each thing says so much when it comes to like just just a lot of things, mostly based on like money. Like, yeah, and then the Lauryn Hill sample is just like, it's not really a sample. The Lauryn Hill interpolation is a very just like great way to just like do the song. I don't know. Uh, and all falls down, doom, 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 doom. And it's couldn't afford a car, so he named her Alexis. Like, who forgets a bar like that, man? Uh, I think Spaceship is a like the wage worker anthem, basically. Um, yeah, basically a wage worker anthem. It's like a very great way to, and it's like, if you listen to that, you kind of understand the plight of the fucking retail worker. At least Kanye worked at the Gap. You can tell, like, this man started off. He's a normal guy. The college dropout's just saying that, yeah, he's has normal guy problems. He's a normal dude. He's a man, not a god yet. Uh, and he's like basically just like writing his shit down. He's like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm trying to get out. Jesus Walks, basically, very historical track when it comes to hip hop and religion. Uh, just really pushing the envelope there. I think that a lot of the tracks have a really good concept. I think, God, like there's some tracks that are just like, I don't know. I think "Never Let Me Down." No, I think I like "Never Let Me Down." Get 'Em High. Hmm. I don't know. "Breathe In, Breathe Out" had a really repetitive sample, but I think Ludacris kind of did his thing on that one. Uh, I think the verses all are like all pull their weight. I think the verses all pull their weight. Every single verse on this album just pulls its weight. A lot of Mos Def features, which is good because Mos Def is a peak rapper. Yassine Bey is a great rapper, always does his stuff. Um, and I mean, who wouldn't want the guy from Black Star on your album? Like who? Like, come on, come on. Are you kidding me? Through the Wire, absolutely legendary track. Everything with Jay-Z on it. Hey, fuck you, Kanye, for making me doing this shit. I don't listen. I'm not. I might be considered a fucking fake Kanye fan for saying this, but I never listened to all 12 minutes of Last Call. I need to do that one day, but I just like, dude, like the same with Jake. The end of J. Cole's Forest Hill Drive, 2014 Forest Hill Drive. I don't want to listen to 12 tracks of just you talking about something with the repetitive beat, like the credit sequence. Like I don't want to like. I want the after credits, but this is the fucking like, bro, dude, just come on. But I listened to like what, like half of it, and Kanye just just telling the story about how he got there and all this shit, and I think it works in this case. J. Cole's one was a little just, I don't know, he didn't have to do all that. You could have done it in a bonus track or something. I don't know, but yeah, 12 minutes of just saying credits is not my favorite thing they listen to. 12 minutes of saying your story is interesting. Still not something I'll listen to on repeats. Definitely fucking not. Definitely fucking not. Definitely fucking not. Not on repeats. Um, just I don't know. I'm just even though it's great and it's charming and everything, would skip that. It doesn't make the album worse. I think I'm pretty neutral on it, honestly, because I think it's just like a fact of life there. But having to skip that track is annoying. Workout Plan is like peak Kanye, where it's kind of just taking this like workout instructor role. I wish he'd do shit like that more. I wish he would. He's like way past that point though. He has a different kind of comedy, 100% now. Like absolutely, I don't even think like Kanye's not really the funniest guy anymore when it comes to music. I think within like after Life of Pablo, he didn't really have like many like comedic bars. He just has like like bars that are just like him like acting all goofy. It's just him like I don't know. Again, more referential stuff, more like topical stuff. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast. God from Jesus Walks, that was great. School Spirit, all three skits for School Spirit. Like all the skits in these album are actually perfect. There's some skits that are like that's the issue. Kanye got skits. Like he got them. He made them funny, he made them topical, he made them relate to the tracks. That's how you do skits. That is how you do skits. I cannot stress enough how like people like back in the 2000s always had like random skits of just people like fucking talking about random shit and just like invading the album with all this boring ass talk. Like, dude, just get to the next track. And it has like 5 minutes. Like that's like I was talking about being a speeding bullet defendant before. Like the Beavis and Butthead skits on that album. Oh my god, that's the peak of what I'm talking about with bad skits. Kanye has like he has like cut down, makes a skit. I don't think any of these skits are more than like a minute or like a minute and a half long. They're all about a minute and a half long. They say what they need to say. They usually make a social commentary, especially the School Spirit one is perfect with all three parts. With where he just like says, "Oh, I have all these degrees. I don't have betting, but at least I have degrees to cover myself with." Like that's it's such a good like this College Dropout is like one of the greatest like still one of the greatest criticisms of the college system that we have in America. One of the greatest criticisms, peak criticisms. Um, just like absolutely, absolutely. 100%. This day, I think that I don't know I don't know 2 words. Get 'em high. Those are lesser tracks. I probably could. I don't know. I could upgrade it to an A. I just realized that I put it on B. I was talking about it like as an A. I'm like, yeah, it's an A. Uh, yeah. I don't know. Every time I look at the track list, I'm like, damn, I really enjoy this album. But every time I listen to it, I'm like, hmm, it just goes back and forth between me. But yeah, all these like there's some just I think he could have cut it down a little bit. 21 tracks is a little much, but being your again, that's like ambitious Kanye, he's like, this is my first album, I put every fucking thing I have into it, I appreciate that. Um, and you got some good features, what can I say? Uh, it just seems like a very, I don't know, it doesn't seem like a very 2004 album, but it kind of does in a way. It just seems like it's from a different time, It's just from a different time, in a good way, Like, like the kind of like tracks that aren't really done in the same way. They feel like very like if you want to like relive the early 2000s, I'd feel like the College Dropout is a very good way to do it, and that's an alright way. But I think altogether, it's a very like yeah. I mean, everything's been said about the College Dropout. Everything's been said about it, but you know, what can I say? Like, it's just a great album. Like one of the Kanye's best. I don't feel like it's like a peak in expression. I think it's a very clever album. That's the word I'd use. A very clever album. It's all very clever. Um, I think that's the most of the thing. Like Kanye's a smart ass for most of the album. That's what I like the best about it, and that's like what his strengths are in terms of style. And it's a perfect album experience. Intro to Last Call. I mean, Last Call might be a little long, but it's just it got all. It's an album experience. You want to make an album? Want to make? I don't think he wanted to make a classic on this one. He just said, I'm gonna make my entrance big. He ain't gonna say I'm gonna make a classic. He said I'm gonna make the entrance big. So, he did it. He made his entrance big. Everyone listened to him, and so on. The story goes. Um, I think that I'll grade My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy last. So, late registration, S, easy S, absolutely easy S. I listened to late registration, and I think Live Pablo's is best. I think late registration's second best. I think there's both. See, the Life of Pablo has No More Parties in LA on it. Late registration does not. And that's like the only thing that brings it down. That's legitimately the only thing that's like different for me in terms of quality. Cause like late registration is just like peak. Oh, it feels like you want to make a classic 100% for this album. From back to front, it is every single. I don't think there are no bad tracks on here. No tracks that I consider even like lesser or boring. Every single track is the best it could be. And the Wake Up Mr. West is like one of the greatest album intros, especially because you think about it into the live version, where everyone's gonna say "Wake Up Mr. West," like everyone can say that. It's so quotable, just like the way to introduce an album. And Heard Him Say is like the most humble Kanye song. It makes me want to cry every time I hear it. It's like the most like you see Kanye have all these extravagant like things and all these shows and shit. Like Heard Him Say is probably like it feels like it's something to be on his first album, honestly. But yeah, Heard Him, like I don't know. College Dropout is Kanye being clever, and then Late Registration is Kanye being genuine. Kanye being really just like going in deep, because you can't. I don't know. I think when you have to put your foot into the door, you have he had a lot to say, but it's mostly about like the societal things. And Late Registration is about his personal circumstances when he was becoming famous, I think. It's kind of like the comparison I put. Like I feel like The Life of Pablo and Late Registration are probably I think Ye is probably a good autobiographical one when it comes to Kanye's life, but those other two are probably the best when it comes to autobiographical Kanye in terms of thing. The Life of Pablo is like I think if new Kanye is probably Yeezus and beyond. So every second album he makes, he just becomes really like not genuine, like really open, But again, um, every second album per era, I guess. I don't know. Like consider The Life of Pablo to be after Yeezus, which is the first new Kanye album, and The Late Registration is Kanye's second album, so that's old Kanye era. So I don't know. So yeah, I think that Heard Him Say is such like I don't know. It's a very like I don't know. It really means something to me, It really makes you feel, because it's like the piano thing where it's like dun 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 dun, and then Adam Levine's going nothing left tomorrow today. Be honest, babe. Only way. Oh my god. And then Kanye starts rapping about like all these oh my god. In fact, let me look up the lyrics to that, because I just like remember being like, it just like it breaks my heart every time. Let me see. Um, Heard him say, "Nothing's ever promised tomorrow today." What if you ask me to at least get a minimum wage? Uh, I'll look back more and throw in some hot cars. God, they say that they see that people in your life are seasons, and everything happens for a reason. Jesus Christ, it's also like all this entire song is just about like, yeah, harsh realities like of life. It's just like kind of talking about just like it's people's circumstances and how people are just trying to live their life. It's probably it's like College Dropout, like social commentary, but with like late registration, orchestral stuff, and with a lot of I don't know. It's a very extremely humble song, and it's like thinking about like all these people he sees along the way. I think because this is after like Hurricane Katrina, right? So I'm not sure if that had influenced the album, or I think it might have been done by then. Who knows? Um, but thinking that happened the same year. Like all these people are struggling, and all these people are trying to live and survive when this just like random second circumstance happened to them that was unfortunate. Like this track really just like feels like it's just like it's not just like a celebrity talking like, oh man, I sure do love poor people. I wish all you poor people well. It's like kind of like, man, I know how it is. I hope you all well because it's a fucking rough ass world out there. And it's a real ass thing. It's a, I don't know. It doesn't feel, it feels very genuine. At least as genuine as, as genuine as you can like get in, in that case. But it does. It feels very like thing. That's why I like old Kanye. Like a lot of the tracks feel like I don't know. It's not like the Kanye never feels ingenuine, but a lot of like feel like again. I have a lot to say about this track because it just this has a very particular feeling and it makes me very emotional for some reason. It makes me very emotional because I just feel like whenever I listen to it, it just feels like nostalgic for a reason, I guess. It's like despite everything that goes on with you and everything that's happening, you still can push through it. And it's like a general theme, but it's like different ways of presenting that theme. I think the way in Kids See Ghosts is a very like invigorating and like, you know, push like cracking through like a harsh cracking through the wall, depression and anxiety and stuff. And Heard Him Say is more like just talking about how like just talking it out, venting to somebody, it's like this life shit's unfair, man. Like, yeah, man, I know. It's like it's like a pat on the back. It's like a hug. It feels very personal. This album, and that's a really good way to start off the album because I think a lot of these tracks feel like that, Touch the Sky is like again, it's like the one triumphant track on there with like the oh my god with the fucking Curtis Mayfield sample. Move on up. Oh my god. And don't you cry. Oh my god. And don't you cry. Oh my god. And then Lupe comes on here. Lupe thing like Lupin the Third. Oh. Beast Blood like Mr. Butterworth. Oh my god. Perfect. Like and then don't touch the sky, we don't touch the I'm gonna do an entire like breakdown of all these tracks. Oh my god, this video is gonna go on for like 3 hours by the end of this because I'm gonna talk about every single track. I love you can tell which tracks you can tell which albums I love more by how long and how excited I get by just talking about each track because I'm gonna be talking about this one for like a while. Like Touch the Sky with and that's perfect third track. You don't think about album structure a lot. I do. I think a lot of album structure a lot because a lot of albums, at least a lot of same albums over and over. I need to get more music. If you have any music recommendations, if you made it through this long of the video, I don't know how you would, but if you have any music recommendations, give them to me. And don't let them be like fucking Cousins mixtape. I don't want that shit. Give me like Bandcamp shit. Like obscure like I still haven't listened to that new Mike album. Might later. Anyway, Kanye. Gold Digger. Do you take my money when I'm in need? Oh my god. That was an absolute classic track. You can play that anywhere. You can still play that anywhere. That's peak 2005. Like I remember that being in the Boondocks. Like it's such a 2005 track. We want prenup. We want prenup. Yeah. I could like literally say every lyric. When you leave your ass, you gonna leave with half. 18 years, and after all that, you gonna say it wasn't his. Oh, that's Pete Kanye, because it's like it's shit that'll make you smile and laugh and still make you rock out. Let's say that shit's fire. That shit's great. And then like you have because the thing is like the singles usually have like less depth, but the thing with like Kanye, at least in this era, like all of his singles had like a lot of like depth to them, a lot of like, and that's what I think that's the main thing I miss about Kanye in terms of like old versus new eras. He had a lot of social commentary and a lot of relatable like ground, like he had like still a lot of relatable themes, but I think mostly like Like Kanye, he's like not exclusively autobiographical in a lot of these things. He's like, talks about like, you can tell he comes from like circumstances like, okay, let me talk about like what I've seen and how the people, since I got lucky enough to be up here and have my message, and let me talk about what I'd have to do to come up here. I mean, yeah. Uh this is I think it's mostly just like humble Kanye versus um ego driven, braggadocious, like extremely confident. I don't know, like there's like a way, like a word for that. I think there is. Like there's probably like three, but I'm forgetting them right now. Like extremely braggadocious Kanye versus like humble Kanye. Yeah. Like Kanye can be braggadocious on the first three albums, first four albums, first five albums, however you want to put it. Old Kanye. But he doesn't like go to the point where he's like um I don't know. I don't know. He doesn't go to the point where he's always stays humble in a way, and he always remembers where he came from. I guess he this Kanye wouldn't say I am a god, and then that Kanye wouldn't make a song necessarily about this, a song like Heard Him Say, where it's like him just talking about everyday matters and shit, Um, I guess I don't know. I think that the skits are very funny. I think the skits are re-listenable. That's what I like about the skits. The skits, when skits are good, they're really good, and it's really impressive when skits can actually fit into a track list, because there are a lot of skits that are fucking bad. they're just horrid, and I don't know, just like all these skits. Like of course, skit 4 has become a meme. I'm not gonna say why. They'll date the video, but uh, you know, they're all like about being broke, and that's such a relatable theme. Very common theme. It's a very funny way to portraying it. Like you have the broke cult, five broke. We ain't got it. Like it's amazing way to portray that. Don't got no money, don't got no clothes, don't got no cheese, no, don't got no car, don't got no hoes. Yes, absolutely peak way of doing that. Um, just all the skits are great, and they're interspliced like an interesting way through the album. Like you won't hear like the skit 1 is like way before skit 2, and then skit 2, like skit 2 is like a couple tracks before skit 3, and I think about 10 minutes, and skit 3 is like a couple of tracks like before skit 4, and then that's the last skit, and then the album's like nearly over by the end of that. Um, you know, it's the structure. The structure matters. The Drive Slow, great track. I wish the verse on the music video was here from I forgot who it was, but the verse from the music video, the verse from the music video could have been on that track, and I think that would have been better. I think that it might have made the song too. Well, it might have made the song too long though. So I think having the 5 minute tracks, 5 minute track is good enough for me. And I love the track. It's peak night driving music. It is peak night driving music. I did it. I drove at night with this music. It's like, yeah, it works. It's like, oh, so jazzy. Like everything that's jazzy like works better at night for me. I don't know why. Like listening to jazz during the day, like it just sounds like just. It's not wrong. It's just like, it just doesn't feel the same. You know what I mean? Like listening to Kind of Blue in broad daylight, like that's just not right, man. You gotta have that like that night vibe, because I'm pretty sure a lot of jazz artists like play in these dark clubs anyway. So I don't know. Maybe that's my own association. I don't know. My Way Home, like Drive Slow is it's like, oh my god, it's like a very interesting track when it comes to, like, they use the Drive Slow for like so many different things. It's like a triple entendre, like cars, and then like life. Like you drive slow in life and aging. Don't move too fast. Uh, literally don't drive too fast. Uh, make your decisions as slow as possible. You know what I mean? Like that's very thoughtful as possible. Um, And then Paul Wall's verse was that don't make sense, but but I'm the shit. Uh, I think the other one where he has more cars in his no more TVs in his car than his house. Uh, that's great. That's a great line. My Way Home is a good interlude. I'm on my way home. That's a great what can I say? That's a great sample of a almost lost Detroit. Who made Winter in America? What's that album? I'll remember later. Probably not. Um, yeah, I forgot. Otherwise, yeah, great track. Common, good feature there. Um, I think Common, I think Common performed better on B than he did on this album with that feature. But you know, it is what it is. It's fine. I think yeah, Common was on Back to Basics and We Could Make It Better. These are bonus tracks, by the way. They're like not even on like any of the versions of the album you'll find, but I have them on my thing inexplicably. And honestly, I don't think I want them on the album anymore. Um, they kind of get in the way of the album flow. Like 23 tracks is way different than like 20, not 20, 21, 20 depends on the day. Yeah. Um, Crack Music, great track. What can I say? Again, I said every track is pretty much perfect. Especially the sample, like the sample or the horn, or it's not even is that even a sample? I think John Bryan was working on this one, so it's probably not even a sample. Probably just like a composition. And it's like a very good metaphor for just a lot of things. Really, just it's just like it's just a metaphor city with that song. Um, Mostly the war on drugs. Roses. Again, a very humble Kanye track. He's just like, because the thing is, this is a Kanye track that has basically like no, like I can't think of any other Kanye tracks that have like a parallel to that one. Like, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Because like Kanye never talks about his like extended family, never talks about his aunts, never talks about his like cousins besides the one who stole the laptop, you dirty motherfucker. I just keep on loving you, baby. Uh I'm trying to think. No, he hasn't made any. Basically, there's no parallels to the track. There's basically no parallels to that track. I'm trying to think. There's probably nothing else. Like Rose is a very unique Kanye track in the grand scheme of things, and I appreciate it because it's really just like, you know, uh, it's very emotional. You know, he's like really just caring about his aunts and his family, and it's probably the only time I feel like Kanye talks about his extended family. He doesn't really talk about it much anymore. Probably because it's like celebrity status, um, everything fucking. Just a lot of different things to talk about. Stuff gets in the way, but you can tell this is still a Kanye that has connections in fucking Chicago or whatever, where he has all these different families, people, and where he names all these. Literally, he has the auntie team. Like that's a great line. It really shows like the camaraderie they had or have. Don't know. So kind of sad in the grand scheme of things, where it's like I don't know if Kanye still keeps all those people, and I'm not sure if those people, a lot of those people are alive because Kanye is like what in his 40s at this point, so some of them might have passed. Hmm. But yeah, having it's a very like thing track. It's like very sad track about the kind of about the state of the American healthcare system, but mostly about like you know kind of the unfairness. A lot of the tracks are about the unfairness of life, where it's just like some people just get dealt a bad hand, and it's just like, well, shit. I mean, I could do stuff to improve my situation, but I just got fucked over, didn't I? Oops, Um, but I'm glad it has like a good ending. You know, it has like a positive ending where she recovers a little bit. Um, he's recovering. It's kind of like a she's from a coma. And, she's recovering. It's it's a positive track. Uh, Bring Me Down is like the one track I'd say is like, cause on a 20-track album you have to have a least favorite. I think you gotta have a least favorite. Like, it's incredibly hard to have an album that has like every track is the same. Every track has the same same quality. I guess that's the word for it. Same quality. You can't like agree that every track is like the same. Like, oh, I love this track. I like this track. You have to have a least favorite track eventually. I think Bring Me Down is the one I'm like, okay, well, I it's a great track. And then the the hater bitches and hater kids line, like that's a great line. That makes the whole song for me. Like the song's great, but that one line is like what great keeps it for me. Other than that, like you know, I think Bring Me Down is just like a better version of Never Let Me Down. I don't know. It's a very very weird comparing like tracks like that. I think you shouldn't do that with music necessarily, but I don't know. It's all I can think of now. I'm looking at the track list. I don't know. It's very biased towards like rate registration. Um, Addiction. Again, another banger like track in talking about like the dangers of addiction. Why everything addiction, everything addicted. Why is everything that makes me feel bad? Everything's supposed to be bad make me feel so good. Everything they told me not to is exactly what I would. Gotta stop, man. I tried the best I could, but like it's just the perfect way of just great, easy. One of the greatest songs on addiction. Yep. It goes to the skits, of course. Skits well placed. I think Diamonds from Sierra Leone, the remix is on the album. Is it on the album? Actually, let me look it up. Is the remix on the album? Because if I feel like it's kind of weird if the remix is on the album. I mean, I guess. Yes. Let me see. Yeah, the remix is the album version. Oh, thank God, because the remix is the remix is the more important political statement. I think that you know probably should have got Jay-Z in on that one, because just it makes Jay-Z look a lot more shallow when you compare them. Where it's like Kanye's talking about conflict diamonds and Jay-Z's talking about I'm not a businessman. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Uh, I mean, it's a great verse. Like Jay-Z like did his work on that verse, but I'm just like, couldn't you like tell him that you couldn't like get him back in the re-recorded? I know, but it's like I don't know. It's just funny thinking about that. It's just funny thinking about how like like Kanye has this like politically charged verse of like people are losing their fucking hands in Sierra Leone, man. We gotta stop conflict diamonds right now. And then Jay-Z's like, aha, I got diamonds on my wrist. I got ha ha. What's the Hove laugh? I wish I could do like a Jay-Z impression. Uh he said, I sold kilos of coke. I'm guessing I could sell CDs. That's peak bar. It's like such a like Jay-Z did his shit. The Jay-Z did his shit. Oh my God. But like that's the thing about this verse, and especially the way that Kanye starts it is like really like aggressive. Good morning, this ain't Vietnam still. People lose legs, heads, arms for real. Oh my God. It's like the best way. Like, give me attention. This is important. What I'm saying. This is important. and he's like really, it's a conflict, it's a struggle. He's um really thinking about this, like this lifestyle of having diamonds and what it does to people, real life people. And it's a like, and I'm glad that I think Q-Tip gave him the thing for that. Like Q-Tip kind of like gave me inspiration because of, you know, yeah, Q-Tip basically just like told him that, yeah, diamonds, dude, diamonds are made from like do you want to know how diamonds are really made? Like, yeah. Like that's why like the original verse from this album is like on like the bonus track section, or just like after Gone. I'm like, like it's okay, I guess. It's all right. And then Kanye has two verses on this one too. And it's not like this is a bad verse or anything. The one that's later on the album, so it's Kanye in his element. But it's just like, I think that I respect the especially because the Jay-Z verse is so good on the remix too. Is that I'm glad that was the one on the album. Like they're both on the album, but I'm glad that was the one on the main part of the album. You know what I mean? Like the part that you don't skip. It's very like like even today it's making me think about like if I'm pretty sure they don't ever solve issues. They just like ignore them. Everyone does, but might be making an impact. But yeah, I think that Diamonds from Sierra Leone is, the way he did it was great. I'm glad it came out that way. I honestly wish the other version was after Late in terms of the album structure, but it doesn't really matter to me at this point. Next track is yeah, I'm just reviewing these at this point. I am just reviewing this album. Next track is We Major. Oh my god, are you kidding me? This is this is legitimately like what you hear in like heaven. Like, oh my god, dude. Like John Bryan, I'm pretty sure like what he like helped produce this track, right? Written by engineering Mike Dean. Mike Dean was working with him back then. Huh, Mike Dean goes way back with him then. Tony Williams. There's a sample. I thought oh, it's a sample. Okay, that was a sample. But yeah, the sample on We Major. Oh yeah, it's produced by John Bryan. Okay. Like the trumpets, Jesus Christ. Oh my god, the horns, and with Kanye. Oh my god. Feeling better than some head on a Sunday afternoon. Better than a chick that say yes too soon. And then that whole verse is just that great. It's not even that like those two lines are like amazing. It's like they have such a Kanye swagger to them, That's and then the hook, the chorus. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then Nas, like a lot of people, like, I don't know. I haven't had the chance to fall in love with Illmatic the same. I think Illmatic's. I love Illmatic, but I think that, what's the album? Anything after Illmatic, I don't know. I just haven't had I don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't like. This is a bad time to give my opinion on Nas, isn't it? Like, somebody's already punching the wall because I gave College Dropout anything less than an S. Like, college. What do you mean you don't like the College Dropout as much as like the Pablo? Like, some guys be like, how dare, But I think that Nas going, like, he went off on this verse. He really did his shit. Especially him like going with the Illmatic stuff. obviously you'll never be able to write a like no one will ever be able to write a record as good as Illmatic, and we can't recapture that shit. Um, cause I mean, yeah. But yeah, he's really just like I don't know. Nas did a shit on this one. I I don't know. I The old heads will get after me if I say anything about Nas, so I will just say that I like his verse. I like it very much, and it fits the song. I mean, I do like his verse. Again, I said every track on this album was perfect, and uh, I thought that, huh? I thought that Really Doe had a verse here, but he only has the chorus. But the chorus is extremely good. We made you. Come on, homie. We made you. We made you. Like Kanye and Nas going back and forth with bars. Just speak. And then, oh yeah, and the part and then the part where Tony Williams says, "Other than feeling better than I ever felt before today." I better late than never. It's orientation. Oh my god, the part where it says orientation. Oh, I oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god, Tony Williams did his shit on like this album. And then the part where it goes and like it has the beat go down and like, you know, and then it goes like and has a long sustained note and it slows down. And it goes, "Can I talk my shit again?" Dude, I cannot stress how cool that moment is. That is probably one of the greatest pieces, the greatest parts in musical history. Where he, "Can I talk my shit again?" Bam! It goes right back in. This should have been like this could have been like a song to end the career on, to be honest. Like, I don't know how, bro, I don't know. How do you make a track like that? 7 minutes and what up do? Ever never know before today. Better late than never. It's orientation. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. I cannot tell you how like top top two. I think if No More Parties in LA didn't exist, I'd probably say this is my favorite track by Kanye, and then Kanye's are one of my favorite artists, probably my favorite artist. And saying like, no, probably I don't know about my favorite, like one of my favorite artists. So Me Major's like probably one of my favorite tracks ever created, and I could not again. Can I talk my shit again? Oh, anyway, next track, Skit 3. God. Are you eating all your cereal with forks because you wanted to save the milk? That was, I love that. I absolutely love that Kanye has like, I don't know if Kanye wrote that. I'm pretty sure he did, but he has these the wordplay in sections that you don't expect in the skits. This is basically just a review of Late Registration at this point. I'm fine with that. And then yeah, Hey Mama, very oh my god, it was written in 2000 and then it appeared on 2005. Oh my god, it's so depressing. You look at it, you know. Hmm. It's oh man. It's like in terms of Kanye lore, in terms of Kanye West's life, Hey Mama just like is just such a heart wrenching song. That's one of the energy I wish was more on Donda. Like this, not kind of like not the old Kanye energy, but like the kind of energy that's like, you know, you know, appreciating his mother. It takes a focus, I guess. You know, if that was the the main theme of it, I guess. Um, I don't know. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how to talk about this song. It's just like that. Just basically takes it. I just remember that that Nikki Giovanni long. I Angelou Nikki Giovanni turn one page. That's my mommy. Uh, oh, it's just such a sweet song. Makes you want to cry. It's like, man, makes you want to hug your mama. Hey mama, I know I act the fool, but man, it's just see, it's just humble Kanye, you know, it's just like him just get like it's putting us like it just makes it so much more tragic what happened in the end. It makes me appreciate Donda as an album more, I guess. But you know, it just feels like this pain. You could feel like just through this how much like how much through the song he appreciates his mother and how much she's been there for him, and you know, just like everything she's done to keep him safe and secure. And it's just like just gut wrenching thinking about just like what happened, you know. It's just like, oh my god, it's just, you know. But I think that as a track, I don't know, it's just really difficult to separate the track from the situation, you know, like what. But I think as a track, it's just like I if I was a different person, maybe I would be able to like separate the art from the subject. In this case, I don't know. I really can't do that in this case, you know? But yeah, it's just like it's a very emotional track, and it makes me want to appreciate my mama. Should appreciate your mama if you got one. If you don't, uh, I'm sorry. Anyway, next track, Celebration. I don't know. This one's just a chill track. What can I say? This one's, you know, it's just celebrating. Basically, just like Kanye having a party at the end of the album. It's like, well, this album was fucking fire. Hey, you know, before we end this shit off, let's take a chill. You know, it's like, yeah, let's chill about it. Um, I think Celebration could have been switched out with We Major, honestly, but but I think fine either way. I don't really have much to say about it track. It's just, you know, it. What can you say about it? It's just like them having a party. Um, I think that I mean, I don't even think he's performed this track. It's not like a it's just like one of the less thick, one less dense, one less memorable tracks on there. Not like it's bad or anything. Again, every track's perfect on here, every single track. But I don't know, just not as, you know, like I don't know, I don't know. I just don't know. What can I say? I don't have much to say. That's really my thing. Skit 4. You call this private media. Shut the fuck up. I hate Genius. I'm going to. I hate lyrics. I hate words. Ah, damn it, Skit 4, you've done this. Oh my god. Oh my god. I tried this private meeting today because there is an. Anyway. Uh, but yeah. Kanye was just I like the way Kanye himself comes back, like comes on to the last broke five broke skit, and he's kicked out of the fraternity. I like the way it's like I like the way he like comes in for the final one. Like it's like these like kind of like absurd entities for a lot of the track. What's it called? Yeah, these absurd entities, which is like, yeah, it's like beyond his like any human realm, and then you have Kanye, like grounded Kanye being like, I just got some money. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's a very funny not contradiction, like a funny contrast. I think like that's the thing about these skits. The skits always introduce something new. I like all the skits in there. They're well paced, they introduce something new, and they're funny. They're really fucking funny. So I think all the skits work perfectly in this album. Gone. I'm more of a, you know, late guy. I wish that was the ending song. But I know that home she's gone. Too late. It's too late. She's gone. And then it go, and that beat is great. It's too late. She's gone. And then the orchestral arrangement where it goes like it's basically just like this. It doesn't seem like a grand finale. It seems like I don't know. It seems like it could be one of the endings, but I think the way they did is actually kind of interesting. The way they have the bonus track, I think that's like the best way they could do it. Like Gone is not it's not like a false ending, but it is an ending. I think it's like a dual ending thing where you have Gone as one side. Yeah, Gone as one side and Late as a different side. Like Late's like the secret ending. I don't know why I said it like that, but Late's the secret ending and I like the secret ending better. But Gone is like have all these verses, and you have Kanye has like three verses. I'm striving home. I ride on Chrome. Yep. And the Cameron has his verse, and then Consequence has his verse, and then kind of just like and where it says sorry, Mr. West is gone. Like the last verse, like it has like all these verses into one, all these verses on this one track. Um, like yeah, it's a great Kanye song and a great ender to an album. I guess and great a great end to the album. I don't know, a lot of good lines here, a lot of good punch lines. Basically talking about him just like him getting some fucking money. All this is about him getting money. He was used to be this entire album basically just like him. Firstly, probably him just like getting some of these extra tracks he had lying around out here. Like he said, he wrote "Hey Mama" in 2000, right? So he had some extra stuff going around. I think that's mainly the thing about it. That's why like it's between Kanye having more budget to have orchestral producer like John Bryan. It's him having the money for like all these different features. Him basically having all the pull in the music industry at this point. Him having these old ideas that go back from before he was in his like luxurious state, which he wasn't in his luxurious state of mind for that long, but he had some money for since like what 2000, what like two, because he worked for Jay-Z for on the album at least, so he had at least some money. So he could write about like him working at him working at he could write about people struggling on Hurt Him Say. He could write about like him not being able to afford a car. He can write about the fucking broke shit. He had all this stuff, but he wasn't in that area still. He was talking about his come up, and it really does feel like it was the perfect circumstances for him to talk about that because you know he had the stuff written down from before, all the emotions he felt, but this is how he could like because this is how he could finally realize, you know, all those things that he felt, all those things that he think, yeah, what's it called? All those things that he, what's the word? I don't know. All the things that he felt and all the um experiences that he had. And to cap it off, I think Late, the final track, which is technically a bonus track, as in it's not a bonus track, it's the real ending. I really the let's see, I'm reading off of Genius. Late is the final track off of Kanye's sophomore record, Late Registration. The track is not only late in its name, but also in its placement of the album. Late comes after the closing track Gone, and the bonus track Diamonds from Sierra Leone, the original mix without Jay-Z. The song essentially displays how Kanye is late to everything, whether it be his college or his album dropping. I think I absolutely just like love this track because it sounds so ethereal, the sample I'll erase your pain, and it's like I'll be late for that baby. Oh my god, I'll be late for that if you I'm coming in when I feel like, so turn this motherfucker up only if it feels right. And then I'll stop your crying cause I'll be late. And then oh my god, and like old folks picking all the pens. Every single line to this one is peak. It is one of Kanye's best songs too. It does, especially that line. They said the best classes go to the fastest. Sorry, Mr. West, there's no good classes, and that's what your ass get. Not even electives, not even prerequisites. You mean I missed my major by a couple of seconds? Like now I'm in a shop class in a basket weaving. All the rest of the motherfuckers underachieving. Like, oh my god. Like it's just it just flows so perfectly. Um just first come first serve, you know. Yeah, basically all you gotta do is just that you gotta get there early. Kanye West is late, he's just late for everything. uh and it's just like and then the part where just like, and he has yeah, oh my god. And then the jazzy sample where it has like the piano or the uh I guess the Rhodes or whatever at the end where there's a dum 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 dum. It's just perfect. It's just perfect. I'll erase away. Oh my god. It's just, oh my god. And that's how you end a fucking album, dude. This is what I'm talking about. S tier. Easy S tier. Good lord. That is a magnum opus tier for me too. No bad tracks, goes through it shows every single emotion you could think of. Like so many literally like hundreds of quotable bars in here. Some of the best instrumentals in rap history. Like the entire album flows perfectly. I don't see how anyone could say anything less than it's perfect. I don't know. Like if you think less late registration is like mid, you please, I'll file a restraining order. Like we're good, bro. Like especially the way like late Ali. Oh my god. I don't believe it, bro. Anyway, this isn't a review. It's just me gushing over this album. And last but not least, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I should have had the lyrics open this entire time, if I'm being honest. I should have. But I don't know, man. Like I could have fucking like done a super in-depth analysis of all these like albums, but I don't know. I don't know. Late registration just woke something up in me, you know. Specifically, because people like sometimes people underrate late registration. Strangely enough, they say like a lot of people say college dropouts better, which is it may be true for you, but because music's subjective. But I'm saying, like I don't know. It'll be a beautiful death, jumping out the window. Let me see. So yeah, I think the album is like, this one definitely tries to be. I'm not sure. It definitely tries to be a magnum opus. It definitely wants to be a greatest album of all time. You know. I want to know who made the interlude though. I don't know why it's not on the credits. Um, there's like easily some of the like most beloved Kanye tracks are on here. I'll say, 100%. I'll start with, this album is beautiful. Like it is probably possibly one of the most luxurious and probably expensive, like one of the most luxurious, expensive, extremely not high concept, but mostly like high, not quality, what's the word? It's like basically like this is the most ambitious albums ever created. Like if you look at how many people like on Donda, right? Donda is ambitious in a different way. Like it's constantly flowing and changing ideas. Like between like Life of Pablo and Donda, they have very the production of it's like go through ideas like everything. The thing with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is that everything everything on this album like is super, it was super gone over. Like, I'm pretty sure I've heard like Power took 5,000 hours to create. I don't know how that works. Like literally, I don't like, but 5,000 man hours to do this like song. I have no idea. Like, if it took 5,000 hours per song, then literally is quite possibly the like most worked on album. Like, I don't know. This, the amount of people working on this album is so fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Uh, the concept of it, I think that's the way to start with it. Mostly because mostly because it's a very transitional album in terms of Kanye. Uh, a lot of it is, it has a lot of that autobiographical Kanye I was talking about, but it's mostly like in a disconnected way, which is kind of weird. Like, it's not like literally like, oh, this is what happened to me while I was in fucking Hawaii making this album. It's mostly just like, um, me as a concept rather than a person. You know what I mean? It's like very interesting the way he did it. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's so interesting. Honestly, if I look at a lot of this is just about celebrity. I think that's my main thing. The main theme is celebrity. It's kind of hard to dissect the themes when like when I'm trying to think of them right now. I'm sorry. But it's just like it just goes through, it's very celebrity focused. That's what it is. And it's probably the like most, like Kanye talks about celebrity all the time, and this is probably like his greatest like statement on it, and it probably will always be his greatest statement on it because I'm pretty sure you cannot beat 5,000 hours of man hours per song. Like literally, I'm pretty sure that that's a thing you don't want to beat in terms of working. Like, I don't know. Um, let's go with this album structure, right? Album structure is pretty great. Goes from dark fantasy to Who Will Survive in America, you know, pretty like clean 13 tracks. See Me Now don't count because people like rarely ever see that bonus track. I've only listened to it like the first time recently. But I will say See Me Now is a great contrast to what's it called? You Never See Me Again. So because it's like, you know, uh, it's Kanye celebrating his achievements and saying, you know, I'll survive all this bullshit I'm going through. And I feel like it's a very powerful message contextually in terms of knowing that unreleased track. But otherwise, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't had the time to listen to it, but I don't know. Having it included in the album just not for me. I don't really account a lot of bonus tracks anyway. That I just don't listen to them. But if we're counting bonus tracks, Late is easily the best bonus track, easily. Um, yeah, Dark Fantasy. I think I'm not sure if it's his best intro. I think on some days I think it is. Some days I'm like, eh. Most days I'm like, it's probably his second best intro. Actually, I don't know. I like On Site. It's kind of hard to grade intros because intros are usually really one of the best tracks in the album. On Site, I'm not really Ultralight Beam fan. Heard him say. God, Heard Him Say is good. Good Morning. Say You Will. Dawn to Chant No Jail. I think Heard Him Say and Say You Will are probably better generally for what I think, in my opinion. I think they're like more on my side. I think, you know, but the way starting off Dark Fantasy like this, it's such a like a welcome. It's like such like a open the curtains kind of thing to do. There's and it goes, I fantasize about this back in Chicago. Mercy, mercy me, that mercy Alago. Oh, like that's, oh my god, it's such a good way to start off an album. I fantasized about this back in Chicago. Oh my god, it's such, I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's showing like it's like, and I don't even have to say anything. It's like I'm back and I have everything that I've ever wanted, and I also have, you know, it's like, I don't know, materialism, peak materialism, but it's also in like the good way. It's like I am rich as fuck. And I, if I saw myself, if my past self saw me now, they'd be like, holy shit. Um, so that's great. Uh, and then that, and then every verse just goes that good. Hey teacher, how are you gonna respond to students? Uh, I think he raps like, I don't know why, but this reminds me of Tyler the Creator, the way he raps on this track. Um, I don't know. Maybe Tyler got influenced. I mean, a lot of people got influenced off this album, but you know, uh, at the mall there was a seance. All kids, no parents. I forgot. I didn't know Justin Vernon was on this album. Wow, Justin Vernon was. Wow, he and Tanya were tight. Forever Forever Ago must have done some fucking numbers. Shit. Um. Anyway, yeah, that Bon Iver album was crazy though. Anyway, next track, Gorgeous. I don't think I think Gorgeous, great track, but also Kid Cudi on here. Oh man, Kid Cudi on the fucking chorus, yes. Uh, then the way they rap, but I hate, I don't know. Every time I hear the way Kanye's vocals were mixed, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can never get over it. It sounds like it's bit crushed to hell and back. It sounds like he's literally rapping it off like a fucking phone. It's, oh my god. But he really goes off with the bars here too. Every, like, again, he has some tracks where every line is memorable. Every line in this one is great. Kanye's still on this social, like his social commentary shit here. So you know, he is just going off, and then he even referenced the South Park, even referenced the fucking South Park fish sticks joke. God, he's probably still mad about the gay fish. Uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's still mad about it. It just depends. No, I don't know. It's probably, it's like, it's just like fucking, yeah. But yeah, and then and he has like, the thing is, he has like 3 verses. Yeah, he has 3 verses on here, and then the Raekwon at the end where it goes dun, 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 dun. Yep. And then he gives a great, you know, he gives one of his, I mean, you know, Wu-Tang verses, like one of his legendary Raekwon verses. I mean, I think whenever you get a Wu-Tang member on the right beat and the right energy, you'll never have them steer you wrong. I don't think you could ever have a Wu-Tang member give an awful verse ever. I'm not sure there's ever been a Wu-Tang member give a bad verse. It's just that they've been on the wrong energy. That's really the gist of it. They were misplaced. I think Gorgeous was a track they were not misplaced. But the way their vocals were mixed, it was not. I did not vibe with that. I did not vibe with that at all. Um. So yeah, it just, yeah. Power. Ever mirror is my home. Hey. Yep. I mean, I don't think there's really much I can say about this one. It's literally just like, man, it is just the most maximalist song, the single most maximalist song ever created. No, but this and All of the Lights, like those 2 songs probably have the budget of like $1 million for everything related. Like, it'll be a beautiful death, jumping out the window, letting everything go. Like him. Oh my god. I just, yeah. I don't know. It's not even like the every line in this one's memorable. Like every line's like a punchline is great. Or like, but I think that Good Night Cruel World, See You in the Morning, peak. Uh clock's ticking. Just count the hour. It's like it's a great. Yeah. It's I don't know. I think I've heard this song way too much at this point, though. You know, that's really the gist of it. And obviously, all the lights interlude. I don't know. I like the track. Actually, yeah, I really like this track. It's the interludes like, underrated. It's only a piano, but I don't know. I just like it. Mm-hmm. The yeah, go from you have to include the interludes for all the lights and then have that go into it. If you just had all the lights, then it would be a different track. But the interlude really just like makes it feel different, you know? All of the lights turn, all of the and then all of the lights, all of the lights. All these they have 14 other artists on the additional vocalist. Like literally this is the most expensive song. We worked for this song on 2 years. He had literally Fergie, Rihanna, Drake. I'm pretty sure Flea is on here or something. Like there's so much to this song. Another night, babe. I want to see this. It's basically just like this song is basically like all chorus. There's like a little bit like chorus, bridge, chorus, 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 bridge, verse, chorus. There's like so many choruses. This song is like extreme pop. It's like pop overtuned. It's like as pop as like absurdly pop as you can get, but it's not like stereotypically pop. It's like I don't know. It's like I don't know how to I don't know how to say it. It's just super cool. Also the Michael Jackson fan, the Michael Jackson thing being the first line. That's an interesting creative decision. Um yeah, I think I like Monster a lot. It's like just a little lonely night. Are you willing to sacrifice your life? I really sound like fucking shit. Uh, I think that yeah, the Rick Ross intro is a very good way to do it. He only had like what? He had he didn't even have a line. He only had like the first like intro, but it works so well. It works so well. It is so strange how like I don't know, but all of it works. It all works. Also, there's a movie for this video. Huh. Oh, there's a different video. I always remember the one that was with Nicki Minaj's verse. I didn't even know there's a different video. I'm looking at Venus right now, by the way. Cause I'm not showing on screen, just the thing. After I'm done talking about this entire album, I'll grade it. By the way, I don't know if that's gonna be implied, but yeah, um, yeah, Monster is just like, put up a monster, or up a gangster. Nicki Minaj's verse was great. Yeah, pretty much Nicki Minaj's greatest verse of all time. Absolutely, absolutely Nicki Minaj's greatest verse. It has so much charm, so clever. That's the thing. That's the thing. Kanye makes people bring out their best shit. That's the thing. I think a lot of artists should like a lot of musical artists should function as directors when they have people doing verses, people doing people doing hmm. Whenever you have a thing that you're producing or you're like not mixing, you're the director of, right? You should be encouraging people to push out the best they can do and give their best effort to you, you know? Like don't let them fuck around and give the half ass it. Just like make them do their best, the best thing possible. And I think that Kanye did do that on basically like most of his albums, especially like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, where every guest verse really shows up. Like Jay-Z, he did like this is the part where this is the part where Jay-Z was kind of like, you know, like Jay-Z, like all Jay-Z's consistent, but sometimes he does less great verses. But no, he really played with the concept very well. Sasquatch, Godzilla, King Kong, Loch Ness, Goblin, Ghoul, a zombie with no conscience. Oh man, perfect way to start a verse about monsters. God, it fits the theme so well. And then, yeah, but Nicki Minaj was really just trying to prove herself here, and she did fucking peak job. Um, yeah, I think the way that Kanye say "huh" in this is just like, you ever had sex? You ever had sex with a pharaoh? Ah, but the pussy in the sarcophagus. Yep, yep, yeah. No, this is peak music. I think the quotables are the main thing here. Um, Soul Paul is I cannot consider he considered scrapping this song. I could not consider this like something that would be on the album. This is the greatest. And what a I don't know, man. Uh, I don't know. God, it's something about this like song sounds so like oppressive. And then like the way every time I think it's every way the way Kanye flows on every track on this album, every track, it just works. It always works. There's no point where he's like he he sounds like he's been reworking these tracks for months and he's got the best take out of all of them. That's my thing about it. He sounds like he put extreme effort into this fucking album. um I think this I don't know. Shy High the Prince. I'll be honest. Uh I don't know. I didn't know he wasn't supposed to be on the album. That's kind of an interesting fact. He wasn't supposed to be on the album. This verse happened when Kanye fell asleep. He said he wanted to do. He said he did full 16 bars. He hit a verse and didn't tell him the verse was on there. He did the verse with everyone the blooms with the hands. I mean, it's a good verse. Again, like fucking ridiculous. Yo, RZA was the guy who did the thing. Fucking ridiculous. Wow, I thought it was. I don't know, but yeah, I think Swizz Beats has a really good refrain on here, really good hook. Um, Pusha T. I feel like I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not. I think Pusha T should have been spread out a little bit more on the album. The placement was a little like too close. I might have heard a little too much Pusha T. Also a little too much Jay-Z. But I don't know. Jay's like they all brought their verses, so I don't know. I think separating Soul Paul and Runaway was at least a good move. Because if you had Pusha T on 2 consecutive tracks, somebody got sick of him. Like you know. But again, it's like saying, oh, if you put Kanye on 2 consecutive tracks, it's like, what's his album, you know? So I can't really say that same shit. um, what's next? Devil New Dress. Oh my god, this used to be my favorite song of all time, and I think I listened to it too much. But good god, this is a song you'd cry to, like Jesus fucking Christ. And then the guitar. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, and then the way that the sample goes. Ah, and it's repeat. Oh my god. You should be and it's like those satin. Oh like when the sun goes down, it's a magic hour. It sounds like such a romantic song, and not like in like the romantic as in like love way. The romantic as in like not I guess not like Roman. It's like romanticizing and stuff. It's like a very luxury song in a weird way, but not like in the way it's like, oh, materialism and like buying shit and experiencing shit. Is more like, wow, this, I guess it's more of experiencing shit. It's like, yeah, this thing, all these colors, all this time they were spending. Um I order the jerk, she said you are what you eat. I always love that sense of humor. Like, yep, that's the kind of shit, man. That is the kind of shit. Uh and Mike Dean really did his shit on the intro. I mean the interlude. Where it's like do 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 do. Like Mike Dean could fucking play. Oh man. And then Rick Ross gives his single best verse, and I cannot believe that he was not gonna be on this album. Like that's depressing because this verse, like man, oh my god. He had a guest verse of the song. And it's he just fuck man, he just did that shit, you know? He did the best verse of the career. Like, oh, you look at him, gave you his ass a bone. Looking at my wrist, I bet it turn your ass to stone. Stretch limousine, rotate all alone. Uh, and then when it comes to Tool, Fool, I'm a pet boy. Oh my god, Rick Ross has never sounded this like commanding in a verse. Like Rick Ross has had like amazing fucking peak verses, but he's never sounded like this before or since. Like there's never been a thing where, and that one line, I shed a tear before the night's over. My god. Like Rick Ross always talks about his luxurious like drug dealer lifestyle, like Jay-Z level, Pusha T level. Like he's always talking about selling fucking coke and shit. His like Scarface shit, right? But that one line, "Shed a tear before the night's over," that humanizes him for his whole career. Like that one thing is like, damn, this man really felt something, man. Tupac money twice over. Like even like if you talk about all the luxury, they gotta have to include some emotion. That one line just does it for me, man. That one line just does it for me. Absolute. I don't even know how to express how beautiful this track is. I don't. I cannot. Genuinely. Next. Runaway. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because you and me are friends at this point. You and me, now that's a parasocial relationship. You and me, we're vibing right now, right? You and I are talking. Well, no, I'm talking. What am I saying? Um, hmm. I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, yeah, I don't like Runaway as much as other people do. Don't murder me yet. Listen. I think it's too long. I do love the guitar, the piano. I know this is some people's favorite song of all time. I know this is like like everyone loves this track. I know I was fine. I always find something wrong. Like I love that. It's like, I think the thing is my issue is that I love the choruses and I love the choruses, but the verses, they're not as, yeah. I think that I think the one that where I think mostly just like the singing. There's a lot of singing, but yeah, the outro that he's like mumbling. I don't know. I just don't feel it. Some people say it's like the one of the best parts in music history. They're like, man, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. Kanye, I love it so much. Um, I don't know. I don't think I feel so bad for not liking it as much. I'll be honest. Um, I I just but Pusha T's good verse on here. I think Kanye's other verse was nothing but romantic. I know it could take the intimacy. Uh, I think the whole song is very just like has a very an emotional weight to it. I just don't fuck with it. I just don't fuck with it as much. And you figure out of all the tracks for me to shit talk, I'm not shit talking it. I'm not shit talking it. All the tracks for me of to like listen. I like the track. It's just like me to underrate, as some people would say. Like saying "Runaway" is the one I choose is like kind of like fucking, you know, heretic shit, right? But you know, I don't know. I don't know, man. Uh, Hell of a life. I like that thing what goes dum 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 and then you like the sexuality, a lot with sexuality. And honestly, it's kind of weird. Think about it, because it's like the topic, like that's something that you don't really hear very often. Sex addiction. Um, and I never really thought about it like that. And I really considered like as a theme. It's a very kind of very open with the audience there. But I think this is a pretty good track. I don't know much to say. It does a good job on the topic though. Um, Honestly, which is kind of weird, is that I think I felt like Blame Game would like the skit at the end of Blame Game with like Chris Rock, the extremely long one that like lasts for five minutes. I thought that would fit better on that fit better thematically on Hell of a Life because of what he's talking about. But he chose what he chose. What can I say? Um, hmm, I guess. Um, I think the Blame Game like choruses, like all the choruses on these albums are great. Play the Blame Game. I love you. Yeah, it's just great chorus. Um, I don't know. I just don't remember the verses as much. I think that some tracks he has tracks that like have bars that don't hit as well, and it kind of accentuates. Like there could be good bars, it could be good lyrics, but it's like Kanye has some of the greatest and most punchy and memorable lines, and like just vocals, and then when you have a thing that's just like purely, you just I don't know, forgetting about like any Kanye line is just like it makes it feel much more I don't know, much more hurt. Like makes this track even like much less good because like it's Kanye, right? Kanye has the potential to do like he's done all these like amazing fucking bars and amazing fucking memorable ass lines. So him having him say anything that's like less memorable kind of like accentuates how less memorable it is. But other than that, I think that I don't know. I think that all I remember, I don't know. I don't feel very strong about this track other than like the chorus. I really like the chorus. I do think the way he does love is pretty um Lost in the World and Who Will Survive in America. Let's go with Who Will Survive in America first. There's a very extremely good Gil Scott Heron good Scott Heron sample. I was like just shows, man, Who Will Survive in America. That is a like what a way to end an album, you know? Uh and I don't know, it's like it connects it just completely connects to it. Um, a way to It's like the way the Beatles ended on what's it called, The End, where just everything on the album connected, and then at the end it's just like has this completely beautiful bookend. And along with that, the thing that connects it to it is Lost in the World, and you know, Bon Iver, and that's a sample. It's all interpolation of woods. I didn't know that. I think Kanye and Justin, whatever was. Hmm, I don't know. Lost in the woods. I'm down on my mind. I'm putting down to slow down. The way that it's sung is so heart wrenching. It's so it's that classic Bon Iver energy. It's like that man singing in literally in the woods. Yeah, the man singing it in the woods. The man like alone thinking about his thoughts. Like that kind of energy in that one first part of Lost in the World. I love that intro. I'm lost in the world, down on my mind. I'm on a sail to slow down. It's so good. And then it builds up to I'm lost in the world. I'm down on my line. Been down my whole life. New to the city. But down for the night. Um, but yeah. Like it's like looking at all the shit that he went through, man. It's like it's like such again, it's like the stuff with Kids See Ghosts. I know you haven't been seeing anything on screen for like an hour. The stuff with Kids See Ghosts, right? It's like um Kanye pushing through all of it. It's like again, every time you have a track where it's you pushing through all of your issues, all of your, you know, pushing through despite everything. That's a relatable topic, and that's a topic I like to get behind. Usually I fuck with it all the time because, that's something that we all got to deal with. What can I say? So, you know, um I think that mostly it's because of shit. I think that this track is just like him just going through himself, him accepting himself in like a final way. And this is what I was talking about. The issue was with Donda, right? It doesn't have this grand statement at the end, like Lost in the World, or like what's it called, Saint Pablo or something. Cuddy montage. It doesn't have this grand statement at the end. I think it has like a track that could be seen as like a grand like musical statement, but nothing like grand statement as in like thematically. There's no bookend. That's kind of my thing. There's like the bookends just don't feel right on Donda. That's what makes it like a lesser Kanye album to me. It just doesn't have that bookend experience. When you have an album that has that bookend experience, then that's how you make a fucking classic. I mean, it can be again. Some people consider it masterpiece, but yeah, I'm saying that what makes me think a masterpiece is having those bookends, having those consistent experience, have this back and front, you know, not necessarily like literally connecting, fucking like King Gizzard style or something, but you know what I mean, something that is cohesive like that. And then uh you know all these different things. It's like lost in the world, I'm down on my mind. It's just all the shit. Like it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I think the music video where the Phoenix is just going into the sky and Kanye's fucking driving and running and shit. That kind of like shows like his like kind of shows the it shows it perfectly. It shows it perfectly. Like the music in a way. It's like I don't know. I think a good way to be like it's just like is a visual representation of the music. Not all of the like all of the stuff on Runaway was. I think the one scene where they're doing the wedding scene, the ballerinas are doing shit. That scene visually conveys it well, and the other scene, the one where they're lost in the world. The power one was alright, but I think that I guess the all the lights one was pretty good too, but I don't know. I imagined it differently. That's a good way to visually convey all the lights, like the extreme like absurd maximalism of it all. That's my thing. It's like Kanye has the budget and willing to invest it all into like this artistic statement, and I think that it all paid off. Um, Despite everything that I said and positively, I think that in terms of I don't know. I just don't think I like the tracks as high wise as much as Late Registration and Life of Pablo. It's not as tight. It's mostly just like I do some of those greatest tracks on here. Obviously, Devil in a New Dress, one of my favorite tracks. All the Lights, Monster, like so many tracks with like complete like punchlines and memorable choruses and memorable samples, interpolations, memorable like everything. I think that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is just a very like maximalist album. That's my thing. And it's more albums should go and try to be like that super absurdly like because Kanye's basically like on his own with that kind of thing because like absolute complete ambition and hunger, but also the absurd celebrity and monetary resources to actually complete it and talent. Like there's only a few artists, like maybe Kendrick Lamar, right? Kendrick Lamar on like To Pimp a Butterfly. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like then you're saying this is going to be a masterpiece. There's so much I put into it. This has to be a masterpiece. You know. So I don't know. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is probably like an A tier. I have qualms with it as an album, but it's definitely like a masterpiece. I don't know, a masterpiece that I just don't resonate with as much. That's really it. I think these are all in terms of how much I resonate with them personally. Obviously, um, I again and what I value album structure, uniqueness, experimentation, relatability. Um, here, um, I'm trying to think. I think it's my complete Kanye tier list right now. Just as King sucks. It has barely any memorable lines. I'm saying the more memorable lines you got, the more memorable moments you got, the more peak musical moments you got. That's how much I resonate with it. Um, the thing with College Dropout is that it was ambitious for the time, but it just does not live up to, can I talk this? Can I talk my shit again? You can't live up to that. But there are again like some peak bars, peak memorable bars, peak stuff. Like, you know, that's why I value those musical moments that could only be created by Kanye West. That's why I think, and that's why I think like whenever I listen to those tracks, I'm like this. Like you get like there's like a fucking like there's like moments where I'm like, God, this guy will be not alive someday, and that fucks with me. That fucks with me because I'm just like, dude, I wish some artists could live forever just because I want to see them make art forever. Like in turn, it's like I know Kanye West is probably one of the most celebrated, critically acclaimed, and you know, beloved, fucking worshipped artist of all time. But I still say that, you know, appreciate any artist while you can, because you never know how long you have them. And not only that, you never know how you could see a different, because like I could always talk about different perspective on these tracks, you know, just as I live on in life, you know, something that's just so much different depth to all this stuff. I know Kanye tier list is one of the most like generic things you could do, but I'm just saying that I value all these albums immensely. Even Jesus is King, even if I kind of like think the album sucks, even if I think it sucks, I think I value it as a piece of work. Much less, I just don't think it's very genuine. I think it has like a detachment from human emotion, not human emotion, just yeah, I guess kind of the detachment. I might need the, I don't know. I think that that's what made Life of Pablo so good. I think it's just mostly just like emotion. That's what I think. The thing that gives me most emotion, and the thing that I feel like definitely the albums with the most emotion, and you can't really grade emotion, right? But I don't know. You kind of feel, I have a feeling. I think this tier list is I'm not sure if it's unique because you can't really have a unique tier list, but I feel like I explained my reasons well enough. Some more than others. So my voice is getting tired. But thank you for listening to this fucking long ass me talking about Kanye for a couple hours. If you have any questions, ask them to me. If you have any problems with my list, comment, because that makes the algorithm happy. Um, yeah, I like Kanye West. Come to my streams. I'd probably do this more, but no one's gonna come to my streams. No one ever comes to somebody's streams when they ask them to. Be like, oh, come to my streams, come to my fucking Twitch. Like, I don't know. I mean, because I mean, YouTube watchers don't typically watch live content, right? I guess if you do and you're interested in talking about more shit like this, follow it. I guess. Anyway, bye. Kanye West. Uh, Kanye West. Maple forever.